One. What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. Tonight, I have a very special guest. Mr. Sean Totanes is in the building. How you doing, Sean?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you having me.
For sure, man. Thank you for coming on. Definitely appreciate your time and your interest in sharing your story. I think it's super valuable, and I definitely appreciate it. All right. For the folks out there who are unfamiliar with the flow of the show, we do some intro questions, some warm-up questions just to set the tone. And then after that, we jump into the main portion where you choose a number between 1 and 34, and we get the conversation rolling that way. Sound good to you, Sean?
Yeah. I'm down for it. The Asian student in me wants the ACEs thing, so.
I'm gonna go with there's no right or wrong answer, so no pressure, man. It's all good. It's all good. Except for the icebreakers. Icebreakers are correct answers, but
Okay.
we'll get there. My first question for you, man, is how have you been? It's been a crazy year. You've been doing well. You've been going through it. How you been, man?
Tired. I hate using this word, but busy. Like we have to be, right? Whole crazy pandemic, right? So I luckily got a job, and so that job is allowing me to be creative and to help students be creative, and so it's been a blessing to be able to do it. It's just now we're getting back into like going back in person, and so that whole thing is starting to unfold, and I'm super like excited and tired at the same time.
I got you. Are you ready for things to go back to normal? Or?
I'm vaccinated, right? So I felt like it's been normal for me. I'm counting my blessings right now that I'm able to go out, and I'm not too scared of it now because of this vaccine. So I'm kind of going out, like not really concerned as long as I'm doing my due diligence, right? But at the same time, I kind of like that there wasn't traffic. You know what I mean?
I miss
like
that, yeah.
So easy. Yeah. Like going from here to San Francisco in less than an hour was fantastic, and I'm gonna miss that, like for sure.
I feel you. I mean, I started working too probably last November. And so, I don't know, I'm not like I wasn't an essential worker where, I was on the front lines and working throughout the whole pandemic. But as soon as I started working, it felt like, man, I wonder, I was like missing the other side of it. But yeah, now it's going back to normal. I think it feels that way, at least in.
Yeah, like it's starting to congest again. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess people are starting to get used to the whole thing.
Yeah, well, we'll see, man. We'll see. I too am vaccinated, just recently. So
congrats, man.
I don't want to be acting reckless. I'm not sure. Like,
I think it's the right thing to do. Honestly, like if you got family that's super sick, like that's you're being proactive and you're protecting your family. So
I feel you, man.
That's the reason why I did it. Right, to protect myself, obviously, and protect my family.
For sure. And yeah, I mean, everybody's case is different, but for sure, if you are around folks that may be more at risk, you gotta take care of yourself and them. So
yeah. For sure.
Let's jump into some icebreakers, which maybe you are familiar, maybe you're not, but the first one is a one-word spelling bee. So feel free to pass if you're not comfortable with your spelling skills, but if you're down,
no, I'm down. let's go for it.
All right, man, for sure. Your word is going to be daiquiri.
Okay, DAIQUIRI.
Dude, you too easy.
No, I got a story to tell about that, but you gotta know me a little bit more, because like my friend that's involved with it, she doesn't like it being told like through other people.
No worries. Yeah. Don't. It's all good. It's all good.
It's an inside joke.
It had to be something special because daiquiri is not. I thought it was a hard word, for most people out there. It always gets me. So, yeah, it was like Slumdog Millionaire right there. He just like thought of a time.
That's exactly what it was. Like I had the flashback and everything. Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right. Well, maybe this one will be a little more challenging for you. It's a riddle challenge. You like riddles?
I suck at riddles. I'm terrible at riddles. Okay.
All right. So you'll have about a minute. Don't worry about the clock. I'll let you know. But your riddle is: can you name 3 consecutive days without using the words Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? So you can't use the days of the week, but you have to name 3 consecutive days.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Yep, you got it, man.
Let's go.
Was that another memory or a story that you had?
I had to think about that for a second.
Yeah. For sure, man. Well, you got both of them. I hope you had fun. That's just a little way to ease into the conversation.
I got lucky, y'all. I really did. I got lucky with those 2 questions.
Being modest, man. Being modest.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I got a few more warm-up questions for you. This next one is: what would you like the audience to know about you?
That despite my soft-spoken voice, I love to hear about yourself, and I love hearing conversations. I like talking to people, whether you see me not talking to people. If you come up to me and you start the conversation, I would love to help continue the conversation.
For sure. The second question is: if someone were to pay you a tribute, how would you like to be honored? So what act could I do to in honor of you?
Stay at home, watch your favorite movie, and just hang out for a night.
Dope, man. Because I'll definitely honor you in that way. What's been the latest film that you enjoyed?
So my job has me teaching students with developmental disabilities the fundamentals of filmmaking. So I've been showing films that I've was taught with. So the last movie I saw was actually Knives Out. It was like a movie a couple years ago, and I was teaching them like how writing works and how mystery writing works. Yeah, and that was a fantastic movie. I finally rewatched that this second time just like last week. It was really good.
I actually just seen it for the very first time about 3 weeks ago.
It's good.
Yeah, man, what a ride!
It's such fun.
And all of a sudden, like after I seen it 3 weeks ago, I see all the hype of the second one coming out, and then like all the announcements of the actors. I'm like, oh wow! But yeah,
I'm hoping it's a different franchise.
What was that again?
I hope it's like a franchise. So like I forgot the actor's name, but I hope he stays that character for multiple versions of Knives Out.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, that he signed up for a multi-year movie deal. But yeah, the whole detective kind of whodunit feel. I don't know too many other movies like that. Do you have any recommendations? If Knives Out's one of them.
This is a bit of a deep cut. It's the same director, Rian Johnson, and he made another mystery movie called Brick. It stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like way long ago, like 2008, I think. I might be wrong, but and it's pretty much a mystery movie with like the noir stuff. You know, when they talk like transatlantic accent. Yeah, see, right? That kind of thing.
Okay.
But it's set in modern day high school.
Whoa! All right.
It's really cool. I might be misremembering how they speak. I think they're more poetic, like in their speech patterns. but it's still set in high school, and it's a really cool, thrilling mystery. That's where Ryan Johnson got his start. So it's a really good movie.
Brick. Okay.
Yeah,
On
man.
the list. It's on the list. And this last question in the warm up is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you know yourself?
I like to think I'm very self-deducting, so like 8.
Okay, for sure. You mind sharing why you're at 8?
I'm very analytical about myself. I'm in my head a lot when it's quiet moments, and so I tend to like overthink things and like think about how I do things, how I treated someone, or like think back at how I treated other people back in the day, and and I realized what kind of personality I am from those interactions.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
For sure. Do you think that's, like, I don't know about you, I'm the same way. I'm very in my head as well. And do you feel like that's more of a gift or a curse?
Curse.
Yeah.
I'd rather not be in my head, man.
Yeah,
If I can just not hear anything in my head for at least hours, I would be at peace. You know what I mean?
Is there anything that, like, any kind of hobby, maybe meditation, that helps you kind of, work through it? Because I know for me, it's really just being active and not sitting around. Because if I'm sitting around, my mind's running 100 miles per hour.
I'm with you, Jan. It's me being active and staying creative, or either staying creative or staying physically active. I've learned that when I'm actually pushing something or like being in emotion, I feel better afterwards. And it's not necessarily working out, because I hate working out.
Yeah.
But today it felt really good that I was building stage flats for our students.
Oh, sick.
And it got accomplished today, and it was a really good time because I was sweating and I was like pushing myself. I felt sore afterwards, and it was a really good. It was a good feeling.
Yeah. I mean, just taking a break from having that voice in our head is a great feeling,
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Yeah. What would you say is your favorite thing about your personality?
I think I'm very personable. I've had people tell me that I'm easy to talk to, and I really like that feeling of just having someone trust themselves into me. I mean, like, I think that's it.
I got you.
I'm not sure how to articulate it better, but I like it when people just come up to me and, like, be friendly with me, and then we all just be able to connect.
I got you. Well, this is deep and a little bit deeper into that, but what do you think makes you so personable, or easy to talk to?
I like to think of myself as to someone that always looks at the other side. When I hear someone complaining about something, first of all, I won't say it, but then I think about, what does the other person think about that situation? And I've always been that way. I don't like conflict, and I just like everyone to just get along. Simple as that. I'm not like a pacifist or anything like that, but I do like it when a room is all unified. It's in this vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like working towards a common thing, for sure.
Yeah.
Harmony. We all looking for harmony.
That's a good word. I don't use that word often.
It's underrated. It's gonna. Well, never mind. I was gonna say eHarmony took it, but whatever.
I gotta put in my repertoire of words in my brain. Harmony.
For sure, especially when, like, you got that big group of people that you kind of need to get on the same page. I think it's a perfect term to use. Would you say that you've always been looking? Would you were you born with that mindset of looking at the other view, or was that something that developed, or like maybe a revelation you had as a kid or even older?
I never really had an aha moment. I think it just kind of grew on me. I don't know any specific moment when I actively thought to think of the other side. I think I just always have. I grew up in a very diverse neighborhood. When I was a kid in San Jose, my neighbors were my friends, and there were all sorts of people. There was a Mexican person next to me. I was friends with a white person, a Vietnamese person, and then two Vietnamese people who were black. So I had like such a diverse array of people that I just saw all sorts of different things, but then we all had like the one thing in common is we all better get home or else we get our ass beat. I'm kidding. I didn't.
No, I got you. Figuratively speaking.
Yeah.
I gotta say, man, I'm kind of jelly that you were able to have like that neighborhood gang type of feel of friends.
It was interesting. I mean, we all had the same common goal, is just to have fun. Watch anime, watch movies, cartoons, and have a good time. And yeah.
No, yeah, that's dope. I feel like I lived in the East Bay, but went to school in San Francisco, so my friend group was always at school and really hardly in my neighborhood at the time. But yeah, I remember one summer where I did get to make friends with the neighborhood kids, and unfortunately they all moved away by the end of the summer. But
right.
yeah, it was a cool experience though, like just that Sandlot kind of friendship, I guess you could call it.
Yeah. It was interesting times.
Yeah, man. All right, moving on. We've made it to the main portion of the interview where you start to choose a number between 1 and 34, and we roll the conversation. 3 levels: easy, medium, or hard. Where would you like to start, and what is your number?
I'm gonna leave it up to you, man.
Whoa.
I hope that I can roll the punches. I didn't look at any of the questions that you sent me, so I'm kind of just wanted to be.
I got you.
Flow.
I can choose a level for you, but you mind choosing a number? Just because I feel like that's part of the universal thing going on that I got with this.
The number game is fun. I like the number game.
Right.
My favorite number for some reason is number 4, so I'll go with 4.
Number 4, and I won't tell you what level this is. I'll just go with the flow of it. But number 4, if you were to get a phrase, quote, or symbol tattooed on your body, what would you get?
Okay, this one's easy. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. It was a song, Nature Boy by Nat King Cole, and that phrase kind of just haunted me for a long time. I first learned from the movie Moulin Rouge, because that was the first thing that they said in the line, but it caught my attention because I do love that lesson, just love, and hopefully you'll be loved in return. And I think that's been my motto for years. I learned about that phrase 2001, so I was 11 years old, and it just kind of stuck with me. And then that song in itself, Nature Boy, is a beautiful song, a real simple melody. It's Nat King Cole and a piano, and he's just singing, and it's gorgeous.
I'm ashamed to say I'm unfamiliar with the song, but I'm definitely gonna check it out.
I think it's another deep cut. I never hear other people know this song, so it's one of my favorites.
That's dope, man. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, for sure.
Would you say with that in mind, has that kind of held true for you? Like, learn to love and you get loved in return?
I think so, and I like to think with that philosophy, that was the reason why I'm such a person to be very approachable, because I have that mentality that I'm not gonna try to hurt you. I don't want to hurt anyone, and I just want you to know that with me, you can at least be comfortable. And I always felt like I was that kind of person.
For sure, man. For sure. Go ahead and throw me another number.
Let's go with Cap's number 7.
7.
I'm gonna go with 49er numbers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think I'm just gonna do that. Like the 4 was like my favorite number. Now I'm like scrambling my head what number I want. I'm just gonna go with 49er numbers.
Go for it. That's cool with me, man. This one is, what change would you like to see in the world?
Okay. I like for people to accept all sorts of food. I think there's too many picky eaters all over the world. And if everyone would accept all kinds of food from different cultures, I think that will lead into more world peace than anything. Because if you understand culture's food, you're going to end up learning the preparation of it, and then the history behind it, and then the family connection behind it. Ultimately, then you would be able to connect with the people. So I don't believe that we can attain world peace. I really don't believe that. But I do believe that if we were to share a meal with someone and talk over a wonderful piece of fish or a piece of chicken and connect that way, that would be another step to a better world. So for me, if everyone can just accept all sorts of food, then I think it'll be a better place. I know there's people with allergies and stuff, but like, just in general, that's I really believe in that.
Yeah, man, that's interesting. Like you brought up world peace and how it's probably super unattainable. I don't think it's attainable either, but thinking of it in the sense that we still find common ground, or we can find common ground in food, right? If we were open to try everybody's meals. It's interesting because I think as a person that's an immigrant into America, in my experience, and I'm not calling anybody out, but that Americans are more picky than immigrants are. Like other immigrants are like, oh yeah, we can eat whatever, but then Americans are like, oh, that's from another country, I don't want to touch that. And I'm like, yo, like
but then like I'm starting to notice too that like today's times, like Americans are now not only are accepting international food, but they're gentrifying it. So for me, in my perspective, now it's going the other way around. And I think that's actually hurting my philosophy. Like you're kind of like, forget my language, but they're kind of whitewashing, like like a Chinese meal or a Korean meal, right? And I don't want that to happen. I want them to actually eat how it's supposed to be authentically prepared, and then enjoy that first, and then rethink about whether or not you want to gentrify it.
Interesting. Yeah.
I've noticed that. I mean, I'm looking at like Oakland, like New Oakland. They're starting to like change up Thai food to make it more accessible to Americanized taste buds, which I don't want to happen, because I would want to experience Thai food. I don't want to experience American Thai food. We already got a PF Chang's. We already got a Express. You know what I mean? Like I want to. Because we can't travel right now, I want to be able to experience it to some degree.
I got you. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, So I thought America was been kind of doing that. That's like kind of our MO is to take something and make it an American food, like pizza, right? Pizza is one of those foods. I think burritos, if I'm not mistaken, is also an American invention. So
Yes.
yeah, I guess I guess we've always been doing that, and now it's just like I think I see it more in fusion foods. Like, you know, it's someone American that's just taking two different cultures and being like, this is gonna taste good, which it does, but it's
No,
not
it's
the authentic.
bomb. Don't get me wrong, the food's bomb, right?
Yeah.
But like speaking of burritos, I didn't know Mexican food existed outside of burritos and nachos until I went to Tijuana with my best friend and my two best friends, and I didn't realize that there was different kinds of Mexican food, and it was so delicious, and I can't believe it didn't experience this, and it was only like a couple years ago.
Damn.
So I'm
That's
like
bananas, man.
like the real stuff, like like authentic stuff.
Is there something that you've been wanting to try that you haven't been able to?
Ooh, that's a good question. I did have an answer to that question until I actually did experience it. Yeah. Foie gras.
Ooh, what's that? I have no idea what that is.
It's illegal in California.
It's illegal? Now I want it even more now.
Exactly. I'm like, where can I find this, man? So like, we were taking our mom for Mother's Day to Lake Tahoe, and you know Lake Tahoe is like the borderline to Nevada. Yeah, so we went to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant out in Hell's Kitchen, and they had foie gras there. And what it is, it's kind of fucked up. It's duck liver, right? But the way it's prepared is they force feed the duck into suffocation.
Ooh.
Yeah, like it's bad fucked up, but the liver is really good, right?
Force feeding. Wow.
Yeah, it's intense, but the flavor is pretty spot on. Like if you like that liver flavor, at least.
I gotcha. I mean, I'd really have to like, I don't know, ask for forgiveness afterwards, maybe. If I eat it.
I totally. I'm like, oh wow, I know why they do this. You know what I mean? Why they did that practice, but
yeah.
You gotta try it at least once.
I feel you. No judgments.
Yeah.
I was good. Go ahead. Yeah.
The one thing I do want to try, I don't know how to pronounce this properly. Sekimen. It's ramen, but it's more intense ramen.
No,
you know what I mean?
More noodles, more broth, more.
It's kind of like it's. So think of the soup broth, right?
Yeah.
But evaporate all the water, and now it's kind of like more of like an intense sauce.
Okay.
So instead of like eating it as a soup, you get the noodle and you dip it into this sauce, and then you eat it. And like it's supposedly the flavor is like tenfold.
All right.
So I'm really curious about that.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
I don't know how to spell that.
It sounds. I'm thinking it's gonna be one of those words with like a silent letter. Like it starts with a T, but you pronounce it with an S or something.
Yeah. I'll send. I just started looking up. I'll send it to you via chat.
Yeah, no worries, man. I appreciate that. I am looking forward. Ramen tenfold, like ramen on steroids. Yeah,
right. Like
I'm with
that
it.
flavor that's something else.
All right, man. I'm about to throw you a curveball right now. It's a fill in the blank question, and for you, it is I'm too young to blank.
I'm too young to be bald.
Knock on wood for you, man.
Yeah, right. You know, because like I've been tripping because like I've been thinking I've been going bald for some reason.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
If I run my fingers through my hair, I see like strands of my hair, right? So I'm like, am I going bald? And just recently, I have this. I'm losing hair on my eyebrow.
Shit. Yeah.
I forgot what it's called, alopecia or something like that.
I got you.
So, 2020 was rough. Like it was very stressful. Like a lot of stuff happened, like family-wise, and like the pandemic and everything. So I guess that stress ultimately affected my eyebrow because I had this just last year. So I'm like, am I gonna lose my hair? But then like I look at my dad, and my dad has like literal mane.
Okay.
and like my sister is like, I noticed that she always like has hair in the shower, and I'm just tripping. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm just being anxious about like being older. Like I am 31 right now, and like I'm feeling that age, and like I just want to. I personally feel like I'm too young to be bald right now.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm jealous of your hair too, bro. Like, I'll take off my beanie real quick. But
legit though, I'm thinking of shaving it. So self-fulfilling prophecy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was gonna say, it's something that I've tried not to be concerned myself with, but hey, we're getting older, and it's something that is just straight in my face. So
yeah, for sure.
The way I deal with it is, I don't know if you've heard of biotin or any reviews on biotin, but it's been cool. Like, honestly, my hair looked worse, like maybe I would say a year ago, and before I started taking biotin. And now that I've been taking it, I think it's like a small percentage, but a small percentage better, and it's slowing down the process. So
there you go. That should be your sponsor, bro.
yeah. Kirkland Biotin. Hey, if Kirkland sponsors me, I'm with it. But yeah, so. That and alopecia, I actually had a homie who went through it, lost the top of his hair, but then he ended up getting it back, but there was no like timeline or like no explanation. The doctor was just like, yep, you got it, and then he was dealing with it and kind of embraced it, like, okay, this is gonna be my lifestyle, and then he ended up getting it back. So it's like, oh shoot.
That's cool.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's just, you just don't know when it comes back. I do see like strands of hair like coming back on here.
Okay.
I actually dig it. It kind of makes me feel distinguished.
Yeah, I feel the character, man. Right? Character.
Yeah, it's gotta lose the weight so it looks better. You know what I mean?
No worries, man. No worries. So, there's just another question that I had, just because I'm curious about you as a person. Being a creative, have you always known you were creative, or was it something that you kind of like noticed where like, I'm doing something different, or I'm interested in different things than other people?
You know what's funny? Like, I didn't. But I knew I was an entertainer. I liked entertaining people. I liked making my family laugh. I impersonated as like talk show hosts and actors and dinosaurs, to make my family laugh and to make their lives better. And so that kind of just carried on throughout my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do until when I was in college. And I was naturally creative too. I played piano. I know how to draw. So I kind of have that innate ability to be creative. I never considered myself to be creative, but more entertaining, if that makes sense.
I see what you mean. What's been like one of your favorite forms of entertainment? Not form, but like maybe I guess favorite show, musical, or something other than a movie.
Other than a movie, okay. I really do like recently just internet content. Like, it's such a wild west right now, and anyone can do anything. And I'm being entertained in all sorts of ways through the internet medium. So I'm kind of cheating a little bit, because like through the internet, like YouTube and Vimeo and all that, you're getting short films, you're getting movies, you're getting TV shows. It's just now that they don't have to worry about a bureaucracy behind Hollywood or Vancouver or any other professional setting. They can do it on their own, and they're creating stuff that, while it may not have like the polish of like a Alexa camera or whatever, but it has the heart of a good storytelling. So I've enjoyed like game grumps because they're just playing video games and talking over it. But I'm getting to know them personally, and they're really funny, and like I'm way more entertained by that than what's currently on TV, literally on right now. Yeah, I'm sort of cheating. I think the internet content is probably my favorite thing right now.
No worries, man. That was perfect. And you shouted out game grumps is what it's called.
Yeah, they're a bunch of silly people. Like it's just just two people playing games, and and one of them is a comedian. One of them is like a animator / comedian, and they just kind of like shoot the shit, and it's fun. And they've been doing it for like 7 years.
Yeah.
And like they obviously evolved, right? And so in their 7th year, they're starting to be a little bit more open about themselves and like talking. It's just a podcast sometimes. It just so happens that Legend of Zelda is being played at the same time.
I got you. Yeah. That's. I'm gonna check them out. 7 years is a long time to be in the game. Shit, man.
A lot of dick jokes. So if you're get ready for some dick jokes.
Yeah. I got you. Hey, I mean, you know, my favorite podcasts are sometimes the ones with comedians because they just seem to flow with the format so well, and they got it on lock. I feel like if you're a comedian out there not doing a podcast, get on it because people love that shit.
For sure. I've been hooked on Conan O'Brien's podcast.
Team Coco, or I don't know what's called.
Conan Needs a Friend, and he just talks. He talks with a celebrity, and they kind of like the Game Grumps. They just shoot the shit. And it's a lot of fun. Yeah. I recommend that too. Conan Needs a Friend.
Any particular episode that you really enjoyed that sticks out?
I just watched it recently. Let me look it up just for a sec. So I really liked when he talked to Seth Rogen.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
That one. And then I really liked the one where he talked to Dave Grohl.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
okay.
Two completely different like styles of conversation, but it's a lot of fun.
I will check those two out. That sounds dope.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Let's jump back into the numbers. Throw me another number.
Frank Gore, 21.
21. What are you too stubborn to let go of?
I think I'm just way too stubborn to let go of being able to create. I'm too stubborn to stop pursuing something in the movie industry. I've quit jobs because I missed filmmaking so much. I quit jobs because I missed the nature of filmmaking so much, the commodity of it. I had a really good job that paid very well, but I was always anxious every day because it wasn't what I wanted to do in my life. Yeah, and I'm very lucky right now because this job is kind of speaking to me in the way that I wanted to be spoken to. You know, it's letting me do what I want to do. Because the last jobs, like, there was such like a limit to it. Like, there was times where I was able to be creative, but then to a point they told me to not do it, but they'll pay me more. And I'm like, I don't want to get paid for something I hate to do. And I see that. I see, you know, and like real life example of like my parents or like other older generations when they didn't want to do what they want to do, and they're feeling sick every day, like because it's a job to them that they have to do. I'm lucky to know that I am fortunate enough that I have this freedom to be able to do this, to pursue something, because I am pretty comfortable right now, and I'm very lucky that I am. But I want to take the advantage of that. I want to be able to pursue it and hopefully I can be independent through that creative outlet. So I guess that's my struggle, my stubbornness. I want to do filmmaking. I want to be part of the design. I want to tell stories as a living. That's me.
For sure, man. Thank you for sharing. I would wholeheartedly agree with you. I feel like in some ways I'm in a similar boat where my dream is to create something that can help sustain myself, and just to live my life feeling like I'm creating something, and I can't do that working for someone else most of the time. So yeah. I've had 12 jobs in 10 years or so, something like that. I forget the number. Yeah, and it's because I can't quit on a dream, man, or I'm too stubborn to let go. And I mean, hopefully that stubbornness helps me out. Maybe hopefully helps you out, where we can't be denied. And
that's awesome. I remember the day when my dad told me that you have to get a real, quote unquote, real job, and we were sitting in the middle of a Pollo Loco of all places, and he told me, "Hey, you gotta get a real job." And I just sat there silently for like 30 minutes trying to, because at that time, like, my financial situation wasn't good. So like, I was trying to come up in my head for 30 minutes to like any like rebuttal, like no, I can do it, but I couldn't. And then I just started like tearing up, like it was a moment of defeat, and I felt like I did lost, like, so it was really tough. And then like a month later, when that job lands, it's this office job. Like, imagine this, John, like, this is literally what happened. Like, the day before that, we were in a wrestling show, right? And I'm just watching people professional wrestle, and fireworks, pyro, people are yelling, screaming, "Woo, go wrestler!" The slap of the chop of like on the chest, like really loud, hype, fun. Next day, it was the first day of the job, and I'm going into this really, really like stale, white office. I'm sitting there, and the office setting, like the white noise of just like people mumbling in the background, the office phones going off. You only hear that in Office Space. You only hear that in those really weird 90s films. That was my life for like a day, and I was culture shocked. I never experienced that before. I was in like a collared shirt with a tie. I never had that before, like, as a job. And I'm sitting there and looking at the computer like, I can't believe I'm actually doing this. And so I never forgot that, and I don't want to experience that ever again.
Yeah, man, that's a scene out of your movie, bro. Like the way you just described that, I just hella had that picture in my head.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Like, and if I stayed in that job, I wouldn't be able to tell you that story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I like doing. I like telling stories. Like, I really like, either through a movie or through just me talking to someone. I like telling stories, whether they're real or they're not.
Yeah. I feel you. Is there, you have any, I know this is kind of like maybe, I don't want you to reveal anything that any projects that you could be working on, or you have anything in your mind, but is there a story that you've been kind of like dying to tell, or that you've had in your mind, or maybe a little plot analysis or something?
No, for sure. I really want to tell the dual identity of a Filipino-American. Like, I want to tell some sort of story that revolves around that. Like, someone who's not totally Filipino, even though they're full-blooded Filipino. But they're not totally American either, because the American people are kind of pushing him as a Filipino. So, that identity, like, who are we? Like, if we're not totally Filipino or we're not totally American, then what are we? And so I pitched a story evolving around that to a residency program. However, they got rejected. So I have to rethink it and think about how to sell it better. or just even to restructure the actual story, because frankly, and the story can be fixed. I wasn't married to all of the ideas, and my team was like helping me with making it into fruition. But I kind of like realized that it needs to be fixed. Now, it's funny you said that, Jen, because a couple of days ago I was just writing a treatment of some sort of film idea I want to do, and that movie is going to be just me shooting it. I'm not going to worry about any like backers or anything like that. I'm just going to just do it and just use the resources that I have. And while it may not be quality, it won't be like an ARRI or a black magic camera. It's just going to be me shooting something, because I haven't done that in a while. So I'm itching to start creating stuff again.
Yeah, man, you got that vision that you just need to get out. I can definitely relate.
No, like I totally feel you, because you wanted to create 34 questions, and here we are, and this is amazing, man. This is an awesome format too. I really dig this format.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I was working a midnight shift when I was coming up with this, and I don't know if it was a tiredness or they say around 3 a.m. if you're up that late, then you got those creative juices just flowing even crazier. I don't know if you ever experienced that, but yeah, that night I was just like so driven, and I was like, the ball was just rolling in my mind, and I had to write it all down. And after that I was like, I just need to try and execute this. I don't think there's anything really holding me back. And here we are. And
I envy someone who has an idea and then goes for it. I still have that, the block that doesn't allow me just to go for it, right? Like, I admire people who are just willing to just go ahead and do it, and more props to you, dude. Like, I wish I had that ability to just take that step. So,
I'm sure shoot, dude, you created a movie before this, right? To the conspiracy and everything. So, in similar ways, man, you've inspired me to do something like this as well. For me, I feel like it's been 10 years, man. 10 years of me like feeling like I've been failing every day to feel anxious enough, but also motivated enough to take those steps. And that's the point I'm at right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get that myself. Like, I want to get that type of motivation again, just to be able to do it.
Yeah. It's out there, man, and you just never know when it hits. And I'm sure you can recognize it when it does hit, because after that nothing else matters except to create that thing.
What's wonderful about that feeling too is that once you take that step, you don't stop. You really don't. Like, when I was writing just like a script in general, like, I was like, I don't know what to write, but then all of a sudden I take one word, turns to 2, turns to 3, turns to a sentence, turns to a paragraph, and then I was spending 4 hours and I didn't even know it. Like, it really just goes, and once you get that first step going, you're not going to look back, because you're just you're having too much fun.
Are you the kind of writer who likes can you write by yourself? Because I think I shared with you before that I tried doing it, and writing by myself it's cool, but like I feel like I need to focus on either dialogue or setting, and I can't like switch from both to either one.
I like dictating the story, so I definitely prefer to work on my own. But at the same time, I do have a team with me. I have my best friend and my family friend, and they're all my best friends. Like, where we come together, and I give them the idea, and they're like, it doesn't work. Well, we could do this. And I need that sometimes, because I get to, when you make something, it's kind of like your baby, and you're like, this is mine. Like, fuck you if you don't think this is right. But then you need those other voices to make you realize that, like, maybe there is that plot hole that I didn't even think of, because you're married to the idea. So,
I like that. Married to the idea. I've had a couple of those for sure.
Yeah, you gotta divorce it. sometimes like you think that the idea would be great, but sometimes it just doesn't work out, and you need other people to make you realize that and hear their perspectives. So yeah, I do like running by myself, but I know for a fact I have to give it to other people to get their opinions and their feedback, because that will make it that much stronger, right? To have other perspectives in it, so that way that story can be accepted universally rather than just me.
Yes, super important to get that feedback, because
Right.
I'm that person who comes up with an idea and thinks like, oh, that's the greatest idea. It can't be bad, and like pour my soul into it
Yeah, yeah.
until I realize,
And again, don't get me wrong, I know there are people who are writing for themselves, so just do it for yourself. But me, I love sharing stuff. I love sharing my work. I love sharing my passion, my artwork. So I do like just being able to share it. So if it's like a film, for example, I have to make sure that it's the best it can be before I can share it.
I gotcha.
Because I know that that's important to have those perspectives.
That's a high standard though, right? Like I feel I get you on the whole, you want to perfect it and make it the best it can be, but then at a certain point it's like you kind of just have to let it go, and then just hope that next project is going to be the step up, or even closer to perfection.
I respect that philosophy, man. Like, I wish I could do that too. Like, I've done that too. Don't get me wrong. I made it and I just dished it out. But then I saw the results of that sometimes, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm at that stage where I did send it out. Now I know what I need to do to improve on it, and so that's me now. Like, that's my stage. Like, I'm in that stage. I'm trying to learn from my mistakes and then dish it out. So I think we're on the same page here. It's just that I'm in a different stage.
Oh yeah. No doubt. Yeah, and I mean, for me with this thing, especially if you've seen my previous episodes, it's like I was making a lot of mistakes, but I just kept trying to improve little by little with every episode, and and even now, I know it's not perfect, but I'm getting closer and closer.
Here, it's gonna be perfection, right? It's gonna be A+ and 100%, right?
Hopefully, one day.
Okay.
Just to let you know, man, we got about 10 minutes left in the podcast. Wanted to thank you again for coming on.
Hey, time flies, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope you're having fun. It's been a great conversation on this end.
I've been loving it. Yeah, I haven't had a conversation about creativity in such a long time, so I really appreciate this.
No, man, for sure. I feel like we can knock out one more number. So throw me one more.
Let's go with. Liking on the quarterback, Joe Montana's number. Oh, that's the guy. Oh my gosh, I think it's 15. Wait, hold on. Wait.
You wearing the hat, man? You wearing the Niners hat right now?
Oh, 16. It's 16. It's 16.
All right.
Yeah. Number 16.
Number 16. If you could get one answer from the universe, what would you ask it?
What is the afterlife like?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that? What's your vision?
I mean, for me, it's kind of like an internal struggle of like believing in God and then not believing. Because I see two sides to it. I've seen the miracles, but I also see like the awfulness is going on. And like I see both sides of it. Again, I'm always the guy in the middle. So I'm hoping there's something out there, right? Like we're here for a reason. Like, we are like the only, beings that are able to interpret, right? To create, right? So there has to be this bigger picture that no one knows, right? Like, I do believe in God, but I believe that God is something more than what we are portraying from ourselves, right? It's something like, because it's so hard to interpret what that is, we are just going with like an association of a person with a beard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's like the only way we can really describe this feeling of the afterlife. So I'm like, it's something, and I'm hoping it's something beautiful. Like, I don't believe that that's it. I don't believe that. I don't believe like that's it, because that's harsh. I mean,
yeah, it is a crazy thing to think about, man, and it's one of those things that we can't really spend too much time thinking about it, because we really don't know until it happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I struggle with that, actually, because my anxiety gets to a point of panic attacks when I think about it too much. So it's always like kind of in the back of my mind, like, every day.
I got you.
Question. But I always tell myself that you gotta live, or otherwise you're just gonna be sitting down thinking about that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of the short and sweet answer to that.
For sure, man. It just made me think about, like, how would the world be different if we knew for sure that there was something after, or we knew for sure that nothing was after. You know, like how it would sway our attitude and how people live their lives, and the stock market and all those things, you know.
That's such an interesting concept. Yeah, what would they do? What would someone do when they actually know? Huh.
Yeah, it just flew through my head. All right, man. Well, we made it to the concluding portion of the podcast.
Didn't mean to go super downer on you on the last minute there.
Oh, don't worry, man. We actually got 3 more questions for you. It's just the concluding portion of the podcast.
Okay, for sure.
This next question is actually from my previous guest. Shout out to Christine for your question. Her question for you is, what do you want to be known for?
I want to be known to be an excellent storyteller. I want my legacy to be, he made great movies, he made great stories. Whether it's in Hollywood or, amongst my people, amongst my community. Hey, this guy was great. He loved to tell stories, and he was very artistic. He was very creative, and he was such a likable guy.
I got you, for sure, man. My next question is, what would you like to ask the next guest that comes on to 34 questions? You could go heavy or light, all up to you.
I'll go mid.
Okay.
What would your last meal be before you get executed? You can rephrase it any way you want. Like, I'm just curious of the overall, like, what would be your last meal before you go?
I got you. No, that's a good one. How big of a meal could that be? Because some people might just stack up a whole bunch of one dish, or
I would say a dish. Yeah.
A dish. All right, I got you. You ever seen that portrait series? Someone took a picture of all the inmates, like the famous inmates.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Like, some guy just had like a banana or something like that.
Yeah.
Someone, I'm gonna get this wrong totally, but like, someone got like SpaghettiOs or whatever because they couldn't have spaghetti or something like that. And so, like, the moment before he got executed, his final words was, "I didn't get my spaghetti." You know what I mean? And then the kill switch. So,
is there a database for that? Because that would be kind of an interesting read, like last words.
I think like BuzzFeed did or something like that. Like,
freaking BuzzFeed. All right. All right, man. My very last question for you is: 500 years from now, your descendants are listening to this podcast, and they want to get to know you more. What would you like them to know, or what would you say to them?
Check out my movies. And hopefully my kin are down to just talk to you about it.
For sure. Like talk to me about it, or
no, talk to my great grandson. Hopefully records are still. Hopefully our interview is still there.
Yeah. Someone told me like I need to think about getting these episodes transcribed into like a book or something, or some kind of written word, because maybe that's the only thing that lasts at the end of the day.
That's true.
Yeah. But for sure, man. Any last thoughts, comments, concerns before we head out?
That's been fun. I'm glad you got me on board. I'm hoping for your success. I'm excited for 34 questions. I hope it grows and grows and grows.
I appreciate that, man. I mean, for me, it's all about execution and consistency at this point. So, yeah, I mean, thank you for joining the journey. One of my biggest goals is to get the Guinness World Book of Records record for most people interviewed, and I know I'm gonna have to put people's names into that. So hopefully, I'll definitely include yours in there.
I'm down for that too.
For sure, man.
I'm down to put my name anywhere.
It's all be connected, man. You'll be making your movies, and like you'll have your multi-franchise films. But yeah, want to thank all the folks out there for listening as well. If you're checking this out on Spotify or on YouTube, appreciate y'all, or Apple Music. I'm not trying to discriminate against them or nothing, but remember to reach out, reach forward. As always, much love, and we'll catch you guys next time on 34 Questions.